they'll lynch you. But he did, and he laughs.
West Ham's latest transfer targets are starting to become embroiled in a will they or won't they saga coming to West Ham this summer. Roll the titles. Well, how exciting was that last night? West Ham finally got Gianluca Scamacca over the line. I can't actually believe we did it, but we did. I think we all thought that the deal probably wouldn't have gone through until today. It ended up being one of the worst kept secrets around. However, I did like the build up to it because it wasn't becoming so drastic as what we've been known to in the past. But bringing the 6'5" centre forward in is definitely a nice bit of business from David Moyes, albeit we don't know a huge amount about him personally. However, we do a little bit of scouting and try and bring to you as much information as we can. And I think he'll work. I think he'll mix in really well with the team. I've seen some video clips of him and Ogbonna getting shown around all the kind of training area, the West Ham area, etc. And David Moyes is there. He speaks good English. I've seen his Come On You Irons video, and he obviously has good pronunciations as well. So all that sort of stuff is looking really good, and it's got good signs as well. So fingers crossed we'll get to see him get some game time in our next final preseason friendly before we enter into the Premier League a week on Sunday, which I can't believe I'm actually saying. But we've obviously brought Scamacca in, which is huge, and we did do a video on him last night, and there's going to be lots of videos. You'll look back in the catalogue of all the videos we've done about talking about what he can bring to West Ham. But it is time that we move on to our next area. And the next area for West Ham to potentially concentrate on is Kostić. Is it going to be Filip Kostić? Now, David Moyes is keen to land the Serbian left wing back and get his signature because he can strengthen what we would classify as the weak area of the West Ham squad, with only really the aging Aaron Creswell and sometimes the error-prone Arthur Masuaku battling it out for the first-team shirt. But apparently, according to some reports, West Ham are now willing to offer Kostić a big money pay rise after rumours emerged from the German media that the 29-year-old was willing to stay at Frankfurt and leave at the end of the season, which would make he would be a free agent because he's got 1 year left on his contract. And that then would allow him to become more of an appealing free transfer prospect to Champions League clubs because he would have a year in the Champions League under his belt. Now, Kostić is rumoured to be on around £43,000 a week at Frankfurt, and West Ham are considering supposedly in making a significant increase, especially after removing Yarmolenko's over 100k a week from the wage bill. Now, Kostić's agents, this is the interesting part, also represent West Ham's new signing Gianluca Scamacca, and it's believed that his agent has remained in London to potentially thrash out a deal with West Ham. Now, there are images appearing, obviously, of Rob Newman standing beside the agent when Gianluca Scamacca signed for the club. So it'd just be interested to see if Newman is working his magic just now to try and convince Filip Kostić to actually stay in the country. Now, it's looking like a fee of around £15 million would be enough potentially to get him to the club, maybe a bit more. But West Ham do have the major hurdle of convincing him, especially if he's got Champions League football, to come to the club. Now, he did make 43 appearances across all competitions for Frankfurt in the last season, 21-22 season, scoring 7 goals and creating 15 assists. And he also made the most key passes in the Bundesliga during the season. And let's just take a look at Kostić's heat map I mean, he absolutely dominates the left-hand side as a left wing back. He absolutely dominates. He knows how to get forward. He pings in crosses. That's why he's very successful with his crossing ability, and he gets a lot of assists, and he also chips in with a lot of goals. He does like to shoot as well. So that would offer us a huge amount of support in that area. Now, he was really their unsung hero when Frankfurt brushed with Europa League glory in the 2018 and 19 season. He contributed 10 goals back then and 13 assists in all competitions as they reached the last four of the tournament, and they only missed out on the top four of that season with Frankfurt by 4 points. Now, he's 6 foot tall, and he is a left-sided specialist, and he set a new single personal best in the following season when he got 12 goals and 21 assists across 51 first-team games in that season. It's a ridiculous return in investment. And after having a further direct hand in 21 goals the season before last, Kostić once again has doubled down on his performances from the last season, scoring many goals and assisting many goals for Frankfurt. He's got a wand, an absolute wand of a left foot, and he's produced about approximately 167 crosses from open play. So you can start to build in now what kind of player he would be. And he was also the Europa League's top provider after notching over 5 assists and scoring goals, and especially scoring a goal against Barcelona in the last 8. Now, he did previously play his trade at Stuttgart and at Hamburg, and they let him go, which in theory would be a mystery to us. But he did impress in both spells at the clubs, producing 17 goals and 20 assists across 128 games. Not bad for a left wing back. And for the most part of the two teams were mixing it in the wrong ends of the table. So they were kind of fighting the bottom end of the table. And before moving to Germany in the summer of 2016, he did turn many heads when he was playing in Holland for Groningen. I'm terrible with the pronunciation, so I do apologise. Now, he does represent Serbia at international level, and he did register a debut assist for them back in a friendly against Azerbaijan in 2014, and he played in all 3 of his country's group matches in the 2018 World Cup. Now, he is, and they describe him as extremely Mr. Reliable. He's got well over 9 to 10 senior international assists. And to go with that, he's got 3 goals as well. And his performances in the 2022 World Cup qualifying helped Serbia top their group ahead of the likes of Portugal. Now, what kind of player could we expect if we got Kostić? Who remembers Gareth Bale back when Gareth Bale was firing on all cylinders? Now, I'm trying my best to be within reason here. An athletic, left-footed, wide player who can score. That's the only way I could really describe him. He mucks in defensively. He's got a uniqueness in his ability to marry attacking and defensive duties without an ounce of problem. And Gareth Bale, who was, the left back turned winger back in the 2012-13 season, is probably the closest thing you could compare to a modern day Kostić. And that's honestly, I think that's a fair example of what we could expect with him as well. Now, let's rewind a little bit back to 2018, because back then, the then Frankfurt coach, Adi Hütter's direct style of play, and Kostić became an instrumental figure during that period of Frankfurt. His work rate combined with his willingness to close down the opposing ball carriers, and it worked really to give Eintracht Frankfurt a high-powered attack, and they relied heavily on chance creation as well as their counter-attacks. Now, we'll talk about a couple of players we know because we've obviously done a bit of business with Eintracht Frankfurt in the past. Sebastian Haller, we were linked to obviously Luka Jovic and Ante Rebic before, and that clearly helped in maximising Kostić's good work in the creative department. And he also deserves credit, having notably averaged 1.4 key passes and 3.1 attempted tackles per game during that season, that Bundesliga campaign. And what really makes him, Kostić, such an appealing target for West Ham is that he would be able to open up a host of tactical possibilities for Moyes, especially in the left flank. Moyes can utilise the star as a wing back or in a 5-man back line. And in addition, the presence of maybe 3 central defenders will bring in more stability at the back, and that could give players like Kostić the ability to get further forwards. And Kostić obviously operates as a winger. His ability to get to the byline and provide crosses should benefit the likes of Scamacca, Antonio, and the rest of the guys in the West Ham team. The width provided by him could be equally important in maintaining a better shape for West Ham, especially when we attack. With an added emphasis on the ball retention, which we've got all those players in the team for. But he has got an aggression that could tune in well with the David Moyes system, and especially in the Premier League. And that really could work to West Ham's advantage when we push on the counter. And he's got lots of experience. He's the highest level of football. He's played at the highest level, and he is an appealing target to West Ham. He's got to be an appealing target to West Ham, and that's why I think we should be looking at trying to push this one through. Now, fast forward to the Europa League final. He was the best player in the park by a mile. It wasn't the greatest of games, but he was a constant threat to Rangers, and he caused the Rangers captain, James Tavernier, lots and lots of problems down that left-hand side. It was a real battle to try and keep him quiet, and he was one of the standout players for them. And obviously, he did score in the shootout that led to Frankfurt winning the game, but he did play a key role in the Europa League campaign. We saw that when they played West Ham as well. Now, Kostić has just got 12 months remaining on his contract in Germany, and with the likes of many clubs interested and keen to get him in, we are led to believe that a deal could be struck. It's just about convincing whether or not Kostić will come to West Ham or not this summer. So what do you think? There are loads and loads of comments in the chat. I listen, I want Kostić. I'm not even remotely beating about the bush here. For me, this is a no-brainer. We need to bring him in. Ludgers is in the house. How are you? Hope you're keeping well. Football Discuss. Hey, good to see you. Brian, morning all. Jan, afternoon. We need Kostić. I think he really would add value. Now, he is on, you could say, the wrong side of the 20s. He is 29, but he's got so much experience. He's at the top of his game, and it's just about convincing him to come to the club as well. Adam Cook's in the house. Afternoon, everyone. Hope you're all well. Richard Cox, all the way from Benfica. Weather looks lovely. I've seen all your images. You're just making me jealous, to be honest, while I'm trying to sit here and work and provide the videos and the contents, etc. Toby Sampson's in the house. Good to see you, my man. Thank you. Listen, it'll all be gone when the hair keeps growing, so don't you worry, Peter, as well. Sean's in the house. Good to see you, mate. Kostić assisting Scamacca is a dream. Absolutely. I think it could be as well. All right, Anton. Thank you, Adam, for joining us. Don't forget, peeps, it's Scamacca for your ACCA. I love that. Callum, hey, from Happy Manchester. Hammer, looking forward to getting my scam on. Absolutely. I'm pretty sure it's pronounced Scamacca. Yes, I did see that, but hey, Toby, who are we to challenge what we say? I don't know, mate. Garino, afternoon all. Hope good to see you, mate. William Ling, buzzing to finally get a striker and watch the scouting video of Scamacca. It looks like to have a real strength we need. Absolutely. Marcus Lieb, afternoon all. Buzzing on to the next. Absolutely. Good evening from East London Hammer in the Philippines. Grumpy old Ben, good to see you. Mac R. There you go. Scamacca. The Lionesses, what a great day yesterday. If Diop does go to Fulham, they can have Masuaku in a buy one, get one free deal. I'll tell you this, and I said it last night, the two of them came out of Ibrox utterly raging, and they were by far 20 minutes ahead of any other of the other players coming onto the bus, so they were not happy chappies. Scott's in the house, 5:30 a.m. here in Western Canada. Good to see you, even from Brisbane. Thanks, Dave, for joining us. Hi, Gaza the greeter. Anton, I hope that fish tank is up to spec. It is, but you can't see it. You can't see it. Hope you're well, mate. Good to see you as well. He does speak good English. He really does. He hugs that touchline well. He really does, Kostić. For anyone that doesn't know and hasn't seen it, this is his heat map for the last season. So he really does hug that touchline dramatically. Where's the comment gone? There you are. John's in the house. Good to see you, mate, from Thailand. Hope the weather's keeping you safe, but it probably isn't. It's probably roasting hot, and it's actually a really nice day here as well, surprisingly. He's everything, mate. He's just, the best way to look at him is he is a left-sided player. You've seen that from the heat map. He is, but I would say predominantly he's more of a a winger, and I do think it's a massive upgrade. It's actually a big upgrade on the two players. I think, you know, Creswell, see out his career at West Ham with the player like Kostić there as well. Very handy indeed. Only 8 likes, ladies and gents. Do the deed, please. Thank you very much, Toby. He is 29. He runs about the same as Fornals. Crosses better than Cress. What dreams are made of, with Kostić better at ring back and Sefal better at full back on the other side. We'll be looking at a right wing back in the near future. Gary J, good to see you, mate. That is a dream. That is a dream, mate. It is. Kostić, Scamacca, however you want to pronounce his name, and Bowen as a front three. Absolutely. Can he hit a dead ball? Well, good question, but it's actually something that doesn't come up in any of his scouting reports. He actually does a lot of his assisting and goals from open play, which is a good thing as well. I'm going to talk about him, Zielinski, in a minute. Sounds like a winner. Yeah, absolutely. We're going to hit a couple of loans. His service is supposed to be world class. Paul, morning, Anton. What an amazing day. Anyone think we can convince Anana and Terrier? I think we can convince many players. I really do. Hi, Anton, and all the Hammers. Good to see you. Graham Lindsay watching Canada. I'm very excited with the prospect of the new players and when they'll arrive. Paul is saying, come on, Joanne from Melbourne. Scamacca to the attacker. Can't see them turning down Champions League for us, but we'll see, I guess. I get that. I think that's going to be the biggest problem we're going to have in convincing him. Jan, love that picture with you and Mr. Parks. This just doesn't feel like West Ham. What is going on? Alfie's in the house. Good to see you, my man. Thoughts on Zielinski signing? I would love him. I'm going to talk about him in a second. Sorry, Anton, I shouldn't expect Italian pronunciation from a Cockney with a thick jock accent. All right, mate. Love it. Gaza, you need to become a spanner. You're always inviting. I don't even know who is actually on that list anymore. Apologies if I don't either. At 29, he is a conundrum. Yes, you could say he's played in the Champions League with Eintracht Frankfurt, but would he expect them to progress? Depends if he sees West Ham as a Champions League candidate in the next 2 or 3 years, or he just believes in what he's building, what David Moyes is building. If we can get a few more additionals, quality additions, I can see us doing what Man City and Pool do by adding just 1 or 2 of the quality players a season. Absolutely. Scamacca, best news in ages. Could these kind of signings keep Rice at the club long term? I think it's just going to be what we do in the park, mate. Is what's going to keep players at West Ham long term. Mike is saying more of the same, great time, and sends out signs of our intent. Absolutely. I seen that. But supposedly Arsenal and Liverpool were as well. Ain't going nowhere, mate. Ain't going nowhere. Don't worry about that, as Toby Sampson is saying as well. And there you go. So I wouldn't worry about any of that sort of stuff. Now, I have someone else I want to talk to. And the next player I want to talk to you about is this man. This man. Now, West Ham have apparently upped our salary offer to Zielinski of Napoli, the Napoli midfielder, for around about £90,000 a week. Now, that's according to Italian journalists who claim that West Ham would need to pay around about £32 million to sign the 28-year-old attacking midfielder this summer. Now, Moyes has been heavily linked with a move to bring Zielinski into the London Stadium after we failed to sign Jesse Lingard. And we have apparently offered the Polish international attacking midfielder the 90k plus contract a week, according to the reports online. Now, West Ham need to pay, like I said, Napoli upwards of £30 million to bring him into the club. And I think listen, it's hard, right? I'm not a Serie A enthusiast. I don't watch it week in and week out. I used to years ago when it was on Channel 4, but I don't watch it as much anymore. And I just see a bit of highlights and everything. And when you're linked to a player, you make a judgment. Like I said, and I'm repeating myself week in and week out when I say that, you look at scout reports and you read up on them. But there's really interesting things about Zielinski. I wasn't massively excited about him even up until yesterday. And I started digging in a bit deeper and started looking at him and started listening to some of his reports and some of the well-known people who talk about him as a player. And he does look like he's the real deal. And I can absolutely see why David Moyes would want to bring someone of the quality of what Zielinski could offer to West Ham. He is 28 and he's undoubtedly a huge talent. And he's a kind of ability that would definitely take West Ham's attacking play to a next level. Honestly, he really, really would. Now, he bagged 8 goals and 5 assists in 42 games for Napoli last season, and he racked up 10 goals and 13 assists in 47 games. Now, in 35 of the Serie A outings last season, he made 36 passes on average per game and recorded an impressive completion rate of 84.8%. And he also made an average of 1.5 key passes per match. And the positive thing about his impressive passing completion rate is most of his passes are progressively moving forward. He constantly thinks about moving forward with the team. Now, what's cool about this guy is the former Poland manager, Sousa, has spoke out and said that this player is an exceptional player. He said he was listening to Pep Guardiola talking about Phil Foden, and he said he was a genius, an outstanding talent. But to get to the highest level in world football, he needs to know when to change the pace of game. He said Foden still lacks that, but the former Poland manager says this man, Zielinski, has it in an abundance, and he says he sees absolutely everything. He is perfect. He sees the space between his teammates and the opponent. He's got an amazing sense of timing and pitch geometry, and he can slow down or speed up the game with one pass. They call him the beautiful footballer. Sometimes he just needs a bit more adrenaline, but they call him a beautiful footballer. He really does look like an exceptional talent. And I can actually now see why Moyes would be linked to a player like that. A full-blown playmaker, unbelievable, upgrade on what we've currently got, and probably, based upon his career so far, would be a starter in our West Ham team. Absolutely would be a starter in our West Ham team. But what you then can start to see in the build-up with players like Zielinski and Lanzini, if they were to come in, Fornals and Benrahma and Vlasic and Scamacca and Bowen and Antonio, just to name a few, is just an unbelievable attacking outlet, which can hopefully give us goals moving forward. What do you think of this man, Zielinski? Interesting, but let me jump into the chat and see what everyone else is saying. If we get Kostic, I think we'll need to sign a left back. I think people are obviously wanting West Ham to get into the market for a left back as well. Does anyone believe Frankfurt are going to advance out of the first round of the Champions League? I can't see it. I know what you're saying, but if they work as a unit like they have been and they stay collectively together as a team that they can, then yeah, I can see them potentially progressing. But then that also depends on if Kostic does leave. That also, I mean, what a big if he does give you the outlay that he does, that's a big loss if he does leave the club. Huge loss. West Ham double his wages or 6 games in the Champions League for Kostic, or final in Europa Champions League with West Ham. Tough call for him. How's everyone doing? Epic hashtag, good to see you, my man. Never heard of Zielinski. So I'm good. Epic, thanks. If we get Zielinski, who leaves, Fornals, Benny, Lanzini, Soucek, I don't know, mate. It's an interesting one. We're going to do something over the next week about talking about who our favoured starting 11 is, and maybe we'll do a kind of, again, keep, loan, sell for some areas of the team, because if you do bring in Zielinski, you do bring in Kostic, and rumours are rife saying that we're still around for Broja. That's madness. Absolute madness. Benny is favourite to go, I think. The more, the better. He would automatically walk into our squad. Paul is saying Zielinski is a baller. He'd link up beautifully with Scamacca, Bowen, and hopefully Kostic. I have. I just wanted to make sure I've done the spelling right, but I think I have, which is good. Could Vlasic be used to get him? I think if there's one player, if we got someone like this player in, I think if there's one player that would be leaving the club, it probably would be Vlasic personally. I can actually see that. Moyes starting to put a stamp on the club. He said it would take 2-3 years to turn things around. Fred, absolutely. Scott, I seen that comment you said last night. I think he'll be the number 10 this year. I'm not sure, mate. Not if we bring in Zielinski. Not if we bring him in. And I could see this one happening as well. It could be a good number 10 as well. Hard to make up songs for Zielinski, but I'm sure, Peter, you can get on it. Rice should stay if we get him. Good man, 5 assists in 42 games from a 10 position. No thanks. The likes of Fornals, Benny are much better. Waste of 30 million, especially with no sell-on value. Harry Peters obviously has got his own channel. Go and check it out. West Ham fan channel. He does also help us out with some videos, so please go and check that out as well. So I'm just reading things that are coming through to me just to see if there's anything that I need to know. We have too many number 10s, but the thing is, a lot of these teams build up their teams with loads of number 10s and false nines, and that's how teams progress in the modern day of football. Vlasic will get better in these incoming players. Core strength beats weak. Lanzini and he can like a pass too. I'd sell Lanzini from Epic, would you? Helen Ludders saying, come on, guys, get those thumbs up if you love Scamacca. Zielinski is a real talented player. I'd love to see him sign, but not sure it will happen. We had Zaza, didn't go get, so we went to get Zielinski, one for the Hector's House fans from years ago. What's happening with Onana? We're still waiting to hear. I wouldn't be surprised if something's getting done behind the scenes. Let's not forget how Scamacca deal was done. Offer was in. Everything went quiet for a week. Bang, he's in the club over the space of a couple of days. Am I starting to feel like Kostić, a left back, and another centre-half like Kletikar and Milinkovic are more important than other attacking midfielder? If Diop goes, maybe even both of those centre-halves. I still think we are looking in that market, so I'm really not worrying about that. Barry Clark is saying he'll get a great opportunity for Creswell, top up his game, maybe get his new lineman back instead of using Johnson as well. Well, something I've not actually shown you is Zielinski's heat map. There's Zielinski's heat map for the last season in the Serie A. He's an extremely creative player, and he plays, like you said, right in the middle third. In the middle third, he's all over the shop through the middle. So he goes left, he goes right, he plays centrally, but he is an extremely tricky player. His output hasn't been as good as what Harry had mentioned, but I wonder around a team like West Ham, it's just going to take a team like West Ham to progress his talent as well. So what do you think of that? Kostić will stay and play in the Champions League to up his profile for when he's a free agent. Hit the like button, guys. Thank you very much. Barry's saying Declan must see we're building a good enough team for him to stay at West Ham and become a hero. Anyone got a tracker on Kostić? I don't know where these fans get to find and dig in deep and search the world internet to find out where these people are, but they are very, very clever. Where are we with Broja? I'm not up to date. I mean, if you believe what the Athletic are saying, then Moyes is still pursuing the option of Broja. But who knows? Who knows? Saying Rom is still at Hoffenheim. We can still pinch him. I can't see it, mate. I really can. I think Broja is too much for a budget now. Chelsea can't let Broja leave because they have no strikers. God, there's so many comments. It's ridiculous. But I tell you what, that really, hi Lee, hope you're well, mate. Good to see you. We do need a second striker, preferably Diaz, in my opinion. I'm not sure about Diaz personally. Players of the caliber we are linked to, we'll probably see an improvement in the players who are already at the club as players improve with the players they play alongside. Absolutely. So, listen, there you go. That brings an end to today's story. I've spoken to you about Kostić. Will he come in from Eintracht Frankfurt? West Ham are trying to get the deal done. Apparently his agent is in London because it's the same agent as Scamacca. So we are trying to get this one through the line. It'd be good if we get this one, and if we could convince him to leave Frankfurt, who of course have got Champions League football. Apparently we're in talks with Zielinski from Napoli. Can we get this deal over the line as soon as possible and add to the talent we've just signed, which is Gianluca Scamacca? Kostic's heat map. There you go. Look at his left-hand side. He is absolutely dominant out in that left-hand side. And Zielinski is all throughout that middle third, relentless in the middle third. So that brings an end to your West Ham Daily for today. Make sure you do join me at 5 p.m. for your Hammers headlines. We'll hopefully be giving you a bit more of an update of what's actually going on today. But if you are new around here, please make sure you go and hit that subscribe button on the channel. We're on the march towards 20,000 subscribers, so please click that subscribe button, and the key thing is to hit that bell notification. That bell notification will notify you when our shows do go live. If you're interested in becoming a channel member, please hit the join option on the website as well, and stay safe, and I'll see you all at 5 o'clock. Take it easy.
It's like a family tree. Part of you and part of